Oh, great, because every friend throws another friend into a stranger's arms, I yelled, while my friend ran screaming out of the abandoned house we entered. I would greatly appreciate it if you would let me go. I tried to stare at the stranger's face, but he hid it well with the black hood. I doubt that. How do I know you? After hearing his voice, I knew that. I knew him, but how? I tried yanking his hood off, but he hugged me tighter to him, trapping my arms behind me. Zelka Prashin, you need to remember who you are first, before I let you see me. It might be too much for you otherwise. That is not my name. My name is Allison Keene. You are mistaken. Oh! I yelled when he pushed me flat on the ground. He quickly mouthed some words, then placed his hands on my shoulders, then ran to a wall that I just realized held arrows and a bow, which he grabbed and started shooting continuously out all the windows. I heard things pound on the ground near the windows, but saw nothing. I must be losing my mind, because I hear growls but see no dogs. And now a goblin has smashed in the front door. This is not happening. I am still with my friend. The growls stopped, and I see stars interlock with each other all around me like a dome or a force field. I only saw the dogs when they hit up against the force field. They are ugly. They have no fur or skin and foam at the mouth. The goblin who broke down the front door spoke. Smin Morrison, I do believe I declared checkmate. With you gone, the force field will disappear. I heard that the growls were close to the stranger named Smin Morrison. Any second they will tear him apart. Wake up, Allison! You do not want to be late to your own graduation. This is a big deal. Getting a master's in library science while minoring in journalism? Get up! Verlina, my roommate, constantly shook me up and down, then sideways. My eyes opened, so she stopped. But I still felt that sideways motion, so half my head hit up against the wall. Ow! Did you have to shake me sideways? By the way, I ordered my degree to come in the mail, so I can sleep more before going to work for Events Feed at 12 p.m. I got out of bed, rubbing the side of my head that hurt, while looking at the clock to realize it is 9 a.m. You could have told me that yesterday. Don't sweat over it. I'm actually glad you woke me up early. I had a nightmare. And no, I will not describe it. I hope to forget about it. When I arrived to Events Feed, the manager, Nella, said what Events Feed does is answer people's questions as best we can about an event that has happened. Between a week through half a month is our time limit to report on the website. Because I am just starting, I am to transfer any questions about murders or violence against humans and animals to Becca or Fanya. A year later, I will shadow them to see if I will ever want to answer those types of questions. My quota by the end of the month is to cover 5 events, answer all the questions the people ask, while adding my own, or I am fired. If I make it, then next month, if I beat my quota, I get a bonus. The bonus is a mystery, because Nella likes to surprise people. My cubicle has a phone, a computer, only to look up an address, and Microsoft Word to type up what a client says, then our site to upload our client's question, and a swinging reclining chair. When I got comfortable, my phone rang. Hello, this is Allison with Events Feed. What question may I answer for you? There is an abandoned house at 3997 Ricana Oak Drive. Earlier today it sounded like a battlefield. Then it just stopped. I was wondering if the house had ghosts. I will answer your question within a week or 2. Thank you for calling. I hung up the phone, got directions, then was off driving to the abandoned house. The abandoned house was in my nightmare. Did I have a vision? If so, where's Berlina? I do not get out of the car, just stare out. Someone knocks on my window. It's him. Oh my gosh. I step on the gas pedal and drive back to events feed. How am I going to explain why I can't cover this question? Neela is not going to believe a nightmare about goblins, hellhounds, and some man. It will most likely play out. Answer the question or you are fired. Darn it. I slowly drove back to the abandoned house, hoping the house looked different and the man wasn't there. The man was standing exactly where he was before, staring at me, and the house has not changed. He didn't approach me this time, so I walked cautiously toward him. You called me Zelka Prasheen. Why? That is your name. I believe that you believe in reincarnation. In a past life, I must have been called Zelka Prasheen, but here I am called Allison Keene. I don't even like the sound of Zelka Prasheen, so stop calling me that. If you want to be called Allison Keene, I will start calling you by that name, Your Majesty. That's it. The only way I'm going to get my questions answered is to kiss him. Maybe I watched too many Disney movies where true love's kiss unleashes something. I back away and start heading toward the house, when my head starts throbbing, making me fall to my knees. Scenes play in my head. I am in some garden with Smin. We kiss each other. I am at an altar about to get married to some guy. I say no. The guy turns into a goblin. Wait, that's the same goblin that attacked at the abandoned house. Kills a king and queen. Did they have wings? That can't be right. Then head toward me, but I vanished. The scene stopped, and I am back with Smin near the abandoned house. Smin rushed to me, holding me in his arms. They weren't just a king and queen, were they? His face answered my question. I cried into his chest, and when I stopped, I looked around us and realized we were in the garden I saw before. I believe I should tell you everything that has happened. A year ago, your parents, King Kendon and Queen Allison, arranged for you to marry Prince Yakul to gain more allies against evil fairies that turn into goblins. It is hard to see good from the evil fairies until they have killed their own kind. That is what all of us fairies were told from Yakul's parents. As you are starting to remember, Yakul turned before he killed anyone. Before I found you, I did some research. Evil fairies and goblins are not one and the same. I spied on a few goblins. They didn't kill their neighbors and danced while a few others shifted into a fairy and managed to kill people before I could put them down. Every kingdom was invited to your wedding. The day before the wedding, I was in this fairy garden, enjoying nature's beauty. I heard stones stepping in the lake. When I turned to see who threw them, I was speechless. When you walked over to me, then kissed me, I got shocked a minute, then kissed you back. We stopped when my parents caught us. They shielded my room so no one would enter or exit it until the wedding. The wedding was the worst day of everyone's lives. When you said no to Yakul, not only did he turn into a goblin, his parents and whole kingdom did as well. After you disappeared, a few fairies managed to retreat, while the rest were killed by the goblins and hellhounds. The only reason hellhounds would work with them is because they made a deal with the demon or the devil himself. How to find out which one and what the deal was? Someone needs to be able to see a hellhound's face right above the eyes as a brand identifying its master. None of us can see them. I saw them briefly every time they hit up against the force field you put around me. I walked around the lake that is now dried up. That must be another gift of yours, because when some of us had force fields, we only heard them hit up against it. We saw nothing. Follow me. Our hideout isn't far from here. Smin held out his hand for me to take, which I did. Then he yanked me, and our lips smacked into each other. Smin was too focused on my lips that he couldn't hear the hellhounds coming from behind him. I yanked my hand out of his and faced the hellhounds. I grabbed onto Smin when I saw the brand of their master, and unfortunately, when one got past me and bit into his leg. We appeared in my apartment because I pictured it in my mind. I ran halfway to the bathroom, then was about to run back to Smin when he said, "Do not shift me to a hospital. That is only for humans. We are fairies. Just bind my leg to stop the bleeding, then shift us back to the garden. I can take you underground where Moreau, take my hand. We'll show you what he looks like. Shift and bring back here." Smin held out his hand while I took it. Moreau has black hair, tattoos all over his body, 7 feet tall, has one pitch black eye, while the other is ocean blue. Smin's hand slips out of mine, laying unconscious on my bed. Before I shifted to Moreau, I bound his leg in all the gauze from the bathroom we had so he wouldn't bleed out. Hopefully Moreau and I are back before Berlina finds Smin on my bed. I appeared what looked to be in an underground minefield. Next to me was Moreau. Before the crowd of fairies around me could close their mouths from shock and start talking, I grabbed Moreau and shifted back to my room. Moreau kneeled before Smin and closed his eyes. What the heck? Isn't Moreau supposed to say spells, wave his hands everywhere, or swish a wand around? Before I could complain, Moreau falls completely to the floor. Then a minute later, turns into a hellhound and jumps out the window. I do not get what just happened, so to not focus on that, I run to Smin to find that the bite mark is gone and that he is opening his eyes. I have a few questions, and I am not shifting us to the underground minefield until I get them. What happened between Moreau and you? If we are fairies, where are the wings? If hellhounds come with deals, can we make them work for us instead of evil? Do you know the master of the snakes in Firebrand? How many snakes were there? Please tell me you counted them. His face showed a balance of hope and no hope. You're lucky I counted them. There were 9 snakes. The devil's 9th son. He has so many children I mix up their skills and wants. As for your other questions, it's best not to make deals. We can make our wings appear whenever we want after we have married once before. If we don't, we never get wings. Moreau is what we would call a sorcerer. He never fails at helping others because he draws his powers from the dark and light. What you just saw between Moreau and I is that he transferred my bite to himself. He left to fight off permanently becoming a hellhound. Now he will be able to shift into them whenever he wants. Let's check the underground minefield to see if he's back. He would know about the devil's 9th son. I shift us before Berlina opened the door. Moreau was right where he was the last time I shifted here. But the crowd of fairies were seated at the sides of the minefield. They are here as witnesses to your marriage to Smin, which will help hopefully unlock both your powers. With your powers at full potential, we stand a chance against Yakul and his army. Moreau gave me a ring to hold and another to Smin. Then our wedding started. Yakul is going to pay, not only for killing my parents and fairies in my kingdom, and others, but also for forcing me to get married in an underground minefield that is not even close to the beauty of the garden. I closed my eyes to focus on the most important person that will comfort and help me throughout the rest of my life, however long that will be. When I opened my eyes, the ring exchange happened, then the kiss approached.